You're now tuning in to the Here's the Deal podcast, covering today's biggest stories from the gridiron to the hardwood. Hosted by Michael D. White Jr. and David Coleman.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Here's the Deal, episode unlucky number 13. Hopefully nothing crazy happens, but episode number 13. I am Michael White with you as always. I'm here with my co-host David.
What's good, people? What's good? It's been a bad week for me, man.
Yeah, David is not in a good spot. His Rockets went down like I told him they were gonna do, so I know you're hurting, man. Not even in 7. 6. I was so surprised by that. Like, how?
Like, don't lose on your home floor. So that's the one thing I was like, just don't lose on your home floor. If we would have lost Game 7, I could have dealt with that. But Game 6, nah, you can't.
On your home floor.
KD going down.
Your mom was there.
Like,
your family was there. But look, we're gonna get to that in a little bit, and I'm sure David will have plenty to say about that. But first, let's start out with one of the most exciting series we've seen in a while. The Toronto Raptors close out the Philadelphia 76ers in 7 games. Kawhi Leonard hit the game-winning shot as time expired in the fourth quarter. What did you think about that? What do you think about Kawhi? What was your reaction to it?
It was a ridiculous shot, first of all. When it went up, you know, everybody thought it was going to bounce out. Like, it was going to clink a little bit, like, because it looked like it was short. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, they're going into overtime. But sure enough, ball bounced another 3-4 times.
Hey,
so gracefully went through the basket.
That's that shooter's roll. That's
like,
that shooter's touch,
yes,
man.
Yeah, that's that shooter's touch. People won't call it luck, but that's that shooter's touch right there. And he was talking about how earlier he had took that shot and he just needed to put more on it. So he put a little bit more on it and he got the roll. But Kawhi Kobe Jordan, man. Kobe Jordan.
Kawhi Kobe Jordan.
That's his new name.
I'm not going to lie. His mid-range game is...
I'm glad you brought that up. Because I want to talk about the mid-range game.
It's crazy.
The mid-range game is not dead. All the best scorers in this playoffs killing the mid-range.
They're only saying it's dead because everybody's shooting threes. Only people who take mid-range jumpers is the ones who can actually make it.
Exactly. So, KD, Kawhi, CJ, like all the best scorers shoot mid-range.
Mm-hmm. If
you actually look at it. So don't sleep on the mid-range game. Yeah,
Kobe used to feast in the mid-range.
Exactly.
What? Easy all day.
So,
T-Mac, what?
Hey, I'm not surprised by Kawhi. Kawhi been great all postseason, and him putting up 39 shots was a change of pace because we're not used to seeing him do that.
Right. It seemed like guys were scared to shoot the ball. Like Siakam, guy was averaging, 23 points at one point. Game 7 coming around, and he get the ball, and he pass it out. I'm like, yo, what you doing? Shoot the ball. Like, he had a couple buckets here and there, a couple good buckets, but they definitely weren't being as aggressive as they had been in previous games, and I don't know why, but hey.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nick Nurse kind of is to blame for that because he kind of just chalked up the system and said, all right, we're going to get a ball to Kawhi, and we try and create a shot. That's kind of what it was. Try and create a shot for yourself. We're going to run a couple of screens for you, get you a little bit of some ball movement, like ball action, but you're going to have the ball in your hands. You're going to have to get a shot up. That's kind of what it kind of turned into as the series progressed. After they were down 2-1, he's like, all right, Kawhi, you got to take us home. And it doesn't spell well for them going forward, but with Kawhi, I mean, he's great enough to where he was able to get him over the Sixers. I think the Sixers are a very good team with stars that they have on their team. With Jimmy Butler, he played great. Embiid was a little bit less than what we're expecting from him. And Ben Simmons, man. I don't know what's up with Ben Simmons. Some games he's engaged, some games he's getting everybody involved. Other games it's hard to, when he's out there, you kind of don't recognize him sometimes. It's like, is he even out there? And somebody that's that much of a force when they do have the ball, I expect them to have more of an input.
Yeah, I mean, it don't help you getting guarded by Kawhi Leonard. Like that it doesn't. I don't know many players who do well against Kawhi Leonard when his sole mission this whole playoff series has been to lock you down, with the exception of the last game where he was on Jimmy Butler a lot. But I mean, he can't shoot, so it's not the regular season where you're getting a lot of fast breaks. The game slows down in the playoffs. They're getting more half court sets, and Toronto's a very good defensive team as it is already. So Ben Simmons was having a tough time. Like, he had a couple good good games at home, I believe, and then that one blowout, he had a good game. But it's harder in the playoffs. It gets harder.
Right.
Great players' percentages go down.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Simmons won't even shoot the ball. He had more turnovers than shot attempts again in a game 7. So he definitely has a lot of developing I need to see, especially with that jumper. He needs to get a mid-range something.
Yeah, something within 15 feet.
He needs to be a threat on the offensive end.
Because if they can just play off you, it's going to be tough for Embiid the rest of his career. Like, you're making it hard on your best player, we assume, by not being a threat out there. Like, yeah, you could try and cut down and everything, but need you at least be able to put it up. Like, he can make a mid-range shot. I'm confident in that. Although we haven't seen it a lot, I'm very confident he can make a mid-range jump shot. Because he's going to be wide open.
But the thing is, it's like, even if he can, and we've seen him practice it and all that, his mentality, though, is to pass no matter what. If it's not there, he's moving the rock. So it's
if
like,
it's not a dunk, I'm passing.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. He has a lot of work to do. I mean, again, he's still young. He has a lot of time. But that's definitely hindering them right now because they were going for it this year. They made the move to get Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. They were going for a championship this year.
Yeah, they were all in for sure. But would you keep Simmons and Embiid together, or do you break them up? I heard a lot of trade talks. Which one would you get rid of? If you had to, which one would you get rid of?
Man, that's tough.
Simmons or Embiid?
A healthy Embiid is a superstar player. He can shoot, back to the basket, defense, he has it all. But he does have injury issues, and that does concern me. Mm-hmm. You know, he's a big man. Look, I'm a Laker fan. I come from the era where Andrew Bynum, I thought, was going to be a staple for us for a long time. And we see what happened to him, unfortunately. And then you got guys like Greg Oden and things. Yeah. I wouldn't wish that on him. I wouldn't want that to happen. And then if you look at the Ben Simmons side of things, he has a lot of upside. He just can't shoot. Smart man would probably take the long haul with Ben Simmons. But a man trying to win right now might go with Embiid for the time being. So I think for me it would depend on what kind of team I have around him. What is the direction of my team? Am I trying to win right now? If I am, give me Embiid. He's ready. He can play in the postseason now. And we're going to do what we can, like almost like what the Raptors did with Kawhi. We're going to sit him 30 games during the season. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Yeah. As long as he's fresh in the playoffs. So, yeah, that's how I see it. If I'm going for the championship now, give me Embiid. But if we're looking long run and I have a rebuilding team around me, give me Ben Simmons. He'll make everybody else better and go for it like that.
It's difficult for me because, first of all, I think they need a new coach. Brett Brown's not the answer.
Oh, he should be gone soon.
I say, yeah.
It's coming.
Next few hours, they're going to make their
check my time. Right. Yeah, it's coming. Don't worry.
But so that's my first thing. And then after they do get a new coach, somebody that can instill some drive into Ben Simmons. Because I believe he wants to be great. It's just, I don't think he wants to do what everybody else is telling him to do, and that's learn how to shoot the ball. He doesn't know if he wants to shoot with the right or left hand. You know, there's been a lot of speculation saying he's shooting with the wrong hand. So that's the first thing you need to figure out if you're going to end up keeping Ben Simmons. I'm going to go with Ben Simmons. I know it may be a shocker, but I'm going to go with Ben Simmons because I think he does have the LeBron potential if he learns how to shoot the ball at least decently. He doesn't have to get a three-point shot. He may not ever need a three-point shot, but at least
be a threat. Like you said.
Just be a threat because he averages about 9 assists a game already. So he
can rebound. He plays defense.
Exactly. He does everything. He does everything else at a high level. That's the only thing he can do. That's the only hole in his game, I can say.
I would say I would like to see him improve from a leadership standpoint because he seems like the quiet type. But this is also Embiid's team. We know this. Yeah. This is Embiid's team, so I kind of understand that dynamic. But yeah. It's tough.
The only thing I'd be with Simmons is he seems like the guy that may leave the team.
Yeah,
he may end up going to LA or something like that.
I can see him leaving. Like, yo, I'm out, yo.
Yeah, Embiid, this your team, you got it.
You got it. I'm out, yo.
So that'd be my only thing with him. How about the Raptors? You think the Sporting Cast is going to look good? Because they weren't playing very good the last 3 or 4 games. Like they had.
See, that's the thing is they have to play good. They have to play good.
Because they're trying to get Kawhi hurt again. Because if he's doing that, this Bucks series, oh no. Nah, he's not gonna make it.
They have to play good. The Bucks make a lot of threes, and they can just like that. They can be up on you quickly, and then you have to worry about Giannis coming down the middle. So Kyle Lowry has to play. Like I was telling you before we started recording, minimum 14 points from you. That's my minimum for him, and like 10 assists. I don't need nothing less than that. He played very well Game 7 to me. He was on the boards at least. He was making a lot of hustle plays, which I like. He's going against Eric Bledsoe, who's kind of the same sort of hustle plays, get rebounds, play defense type of point guard, kind of like Kyle Lowry is. So he's going to have to go back and forth with him. And obviously, they need to be concerned about George Hill, apparently. So these are people they're going to have to go against. Who else is on Toronto? Siakam is going to have to stay aggressive like he was earlier in this series.
He has to be that second option.
He has to be that second option. He needs to be the Clay to Kawhi Steph. He has to be that second guy. He needs to get going because you're going to need it. The Bucks score a lot. They were top 5 in offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency. So they put up a lot of points. So he's going to have to be scoring. And, all the role players, Marc Gasol, who's a role player at this point in his career, but he needs to be playing good defense. I need like 15 from him, 8 rebounds, a couple assists. Make your threes, please.
I said, they got to lighten up the roll on Kawhi. Because like I said, if he keeps doing that, even if they do make it to the finals, him carrying the team isn't the way I'm pretty sure Kawhi wants to play. And that's just going to spell for him leaving in the summer, even if you do make the finals. Like, even if you make the finals and he's the one carrying everything, Kyle Lowry's not playing up to par. Marc Gasol's only getting older. Siakam, he'll continue to get better, I believe. He's still young. And then everybody else, Danny Green, things like that, everybody else is just getting older. He's not going to want to stay with a team like that if he knows. Because imagine if they would have lost this series to the 76ers. They were a shot or another overtime away from losing this series. If they would have lost this round, Kawhi played great, but he's going to look around at that team and say,
oh, nah.
I'm not coming back.
Danny Green didn't play that well that series. That's another guy who needs to step up. So it's a lot to look at when you look at the Raptors because they're so hot and cold sometimes because some nights they come out and, again, Van Fleet was 0 for 5 in Game 7.
He scored 14 points all series.
And then there's some nights where he can go off and be scoring and he can drive that team. So those guys are really going to have to lock in if they're going to beat the Bucks because the Bucks seem to bring it every single night. Yeah. No matter what. It doesn't matter the circumstances.
So they're going to have to be clicking on all cylinders, right?
That's true.
Nick Nurse going to have to coach a little bit better, get him more of a system going because giving it to Kawhi, the Bucks ain't going to let that happen. They're not going to let Kawhi beat them.
So let me ask you this. Going back to the Sixers, I wanted to take this angle. Now that they're out, who do you think they should pay this summer? Because you have Jimmy Butler becoming a free agent. You have Tobias Harris becoming a free agent. JJ Redick could become a free agent. So who do you think they should keep? Who do you think should walk? Should they run it back? Like you guys said you were going to do this year. Should they run it back? Should they run it back? What do you think they should do?
I would definitely bring back Jimmy Butler if I can. He played the best in the playoffs to me on that team. So if I can bring back Jimmy Butler, I'm giving him as much money as he wants. He deserves the max, in my opinion. Tobias Harris, he played his way out of a max. The way I'm looking at it, I'm giving him somewhere no more than $100 million. No more than $100 million. Anything over that, I think you're putting your franchise at a disadvantage when it comes to getting other players and
you give him 100.
Things like
That's
that.
A lot.
I mean, 4 or 5 years, it will add up. But I mean, with the way the Clippers are, not the Clippers, the way the Raptors are, the way the 76ers are,
there you go.
they're the type of team that they kind of went all in this year, so they have to re-sign. Kind of like the Rockets last year. We went all in, so we have to sign Chris Paul. So I feel like they're at that stage right now where they have to bring back as many people as possible or else they're just losing assets. And they're not going to be able to bring anybody in. If anything, see if you can bring in, sign and trade Tobias Harris and try and package him with Ben Simmons or something like that. Try and get, I don't know, Damian Lillard out of Portland. Something like that may work. Like, I don't know. Try and get you a guard that can go with Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler. But definitely keep those two. Definitely keep Jimmy Butler together and Embiid. That'd be my main priority. And then maybe trying to find a trade somewhere for Simmons and Harris. But I would definitely re-sign them because at this point, I mean, the way I look at it, if the Raptors lose Kawhi, they're gonna drop dramatically. They're not gonna be a top 4 team in the East,
Right.
and it'll just be the Bucks and them. That's gonna be the only 2 teams that would be up there at the top of the East to me. So I mean, maybe you could run them back with this team, and they may have a chance, but everybody has to continue to get better. I say that.
So you basically said everything I was gonna say. I agree. I looked at the dynamic that Jimmy Butler is playoff ready right now. I'm paying him. Bring him back. He was very important to them in this series. You know, the games they won, he was a big part of, especially that first game they won. He was the driving force of that. So I like Jimmy Butler. I would keep him. I know they talk about he has locker room issues, but another year with the same team, familiarity, relationships get better. I think he would mold right with that. I agree with you also. If I'm looking at anything, it will be a sign and trade with Tobias Harris, and I'm pairing him with Ben Simmons, and I'm seeing what I can find out there. Well, I agree 100%, seeing what I can bring into this team, because you need a point guard that can space the floor. You definitely need that threat out there, a playmaking type. Dame Lillard, that's a perfect example.
If Portland wants to break them up.
Yeah, if Portland wants to break them up, to a lesser extent, a Kemba Walker I think would work, but he's a free agent, so
I don't know how that would work.
I mean, he can space the floor, he can shoot threes.
I like him on the team. I'm saying just money wise.
Money wise, that would be tough. But I mean, if you're losing Simmons and you're losing Harris,
giving it to Tobias. I mean, I'd definitely bring in Kemba. Kemba, Jimmy Butler, Embiid.
Can you get 3 max players on a team? I don't know. It would be tough. It would be tough because Kemba, I'm sure, is looking for the max.
I believe they already paid Embiid. So, I mean...
Embiid's already paid.
Yeah, so, they're good on that. So, I mean, that sounds like a great team to me. I'd have them at the top of the East competing with the Bucks. I'd definitely do that.
And obviously, it's not just for that. You would get some other smaller pieces to go. But obviously, I'm saying that's the extreme. If you're ready to call this off, you're not feeling it, and you're ready to trade.
Yeah. If you don't win now.
Safer, right? I'm saying I'm definitely bringing people back. I'm running it back. Let's see if Ben Simmons improves. Let's see if another year Harris finally staying on a team gets more comfortable. You know, Jimmy Butler, can lead you in the playoffs. Embiid, you got so much talent on that team. He shouldn't be playing a lot of minutes. You should be able to sit him a lot. I would shore up that bench, get some scorers for them. Somebody else off the bench, something like that. But
Ben Simmons will only be 23 going into next season.
Yeah, so he's really young and a lot of room to improve.
Plenty of time. So going into this next topic.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
Let me get this off right quick. All right, so the Rockets all year been talking about run it back. Chris Paul gets a ridiculous contract over the offseason, and I understand why you do that. You gave him that promise kind of when you traded it for him. If you don't bring him back, it's going to leave a stain on the Rockets, and you're not going to get anybody for the next 10 years. So I understand that part. But Mike D'Antoni, Daryl Morey, I need you to go in this offseason and readjust your system. The mid-range jump shot, please incorporate it. The analytics, I understand it. It makes sense. But even the analytics, they won't play in their game plan. All game 6, all game 5. The analytics don't say leave Clay and go after Iguodala on a 3-pointer. The analytics don't say that. The analytics don't say, let's go leave Steph 1-on-1 and have everybody else, let's play tight on Looney. Let's play tight on Iguodala. No, get the ball out of Steph's hands. He has 0 points in the first half. 0. And you let him come out the second half and just destroy the whole team? When he hit that shot on PJ Tucker, man,
get it off, man. Get it off.
When he hit that shot on 2 back-to-back threes, get the ball out of Steph's hands. You know how he plays.
It was great defense.
We've been dealing with this for 5 years.
It was great defense, PJ.
They didn't have KD, and you still lose. Game 5, put your foot on their neck and break it. Game 5, you have to win that. After they didn't win Game 5, already knew what was up. Yeah, Chris Paul, James Harden played good Game 6, but James Harden, how you miss 5 free throws in Game 6? That's supposed to be your shit. Like you the free throw god in this league, and you missing free throws. He had 7 in the first quarter, missed 3 of them, I think. So like, if he just makes his free throws, maybe we saying something different right now. And granted, he had everything else he did good. I believe he had 6 turnovers, but that's some James Harden shit. Like we know that's gonna happen. But Daryl Morey,
talking to the top.
Daryl Morey. I don't even want to blame Daryl Morey, although his analytics pissed me the fuck off. So
Expletive. Expletive.
So that's the only thing with that. It's his analytics that pissed me off. But not James Harden. Mike D'Antoni. That's who I'm putting the most of this on. Mike D'Antoni. You need to be a more aggressive coach. You need to start getting in these players and telling them what they need to do. You can't just be out there, just keep doing what you're doing, guys. Keep doing what you're doing, guys. Like, it's not good enough. You got to motivate these players. You got to let James Harden know. It's not okay just to walk the ball up the court when we down 3 minutes left in the game. The season is over. 3 minutes away. James Harden walking the ball up the court. Like, I'm sick, man. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So, David is... I gave him this time to get that off his chest. I know he's hurt. He's hurt. I said the Rockets would lose in 7. They couldn't even get...
Fucking lost at home in Toyota Center.
At your house. At your house. You lost. You let them 2 light-skinned brothers come to your house, beat you in 2K.
Steph wasn't even on the court at the first half.
Sit on your couch.
He sat like 10 minutes of the first half. And still Clay giving us... But there's only one person you have to guard at that point.
Drink your Henny.
Oh, my God.
Feet up on the couch. He asked me what time dinner is.
Came up in Houston. Chris Paul tried to kick Steph Curry off the court. And you see where that got you. You see where that got you. Just being petty. Let the man practice his shot. And he going to come out there and avenge us that second half and drop 30 on your ass, Chris Paul. Like, that's exactly what happened. Because you want to be petty.
So when I look at the Rockets, listen. When I look at the Rockets and I look at how they went out in this series, it's definitely disappointing. It's definitely disappointing. But let's keep some things in perspective. This team is 29-4, 30-4 without Kevin Durant. This team seems to have a different energy without Kevin Durant.
Nah, bro.
This team tends to play better, ultimately, without Kevin Durant. So, do I think the Rockets should have took this series and took advantage of the situation with KD out? Yes. But am I surprised that it went out earlier? I'm not that surprised because this is what the Warriors do. Then KD goes out. Steph turns back into MVP Steph. He's moving on all these screens all around. They just weren't ready for that. And then when you look at the numbers, Harden had 35. I think he had 12 in the fourth.
Mike D'Antoni got to adjust.
Chris Paul played good. He finally played better.
Game 6, Chris Paul balled out.
I would say some of the issues I saw with Houston is Capella had a bad series.
Terrible.
Shout out.
You got outplayed by Kevin Looney.
Shout out.
Kevon Looney.
It's ironic you say that. Shout out my boy Oscar on Facebook. He told me me and him were going back and forth about Capella, and he actually said Looney was looking better than Capella, and I was defending Capella, but Jesus.
Nah, no need to. Capella had 2 good games in the series.
Capella just didn't. And maybe it's a switch in the offense because the offense isn't the same as it was last year. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's why he's not getting opportunities. But if you're not giving him the opportunities, then he's useless. Mm-hmm. As we can see, some games they just went small, put Austin Rivers in, put Capella on the bench, and they couldn't even play him. But I think that was such a vital part to the offense last year, which made you so deadly because you didn't know what to do coming off a pick and roll with James Harden. So I think they needed a lot more of that, honestly. Okay, we've seen ISO James Harden this year. I'm done with it now. I get it. You're the best ISO guy in the league.
Right.
Possibly. Whatever. It's debatable, but you're definitely in that top 2, top 3 conversation with it. I know that now.
Mm-hmm.
But now, this is a ding in his legacy, don't you think? It has to be.
Up to this point, it's a ding in his legacy. I think Harden played great throughout the series, honestly, but that last quarter, game 5, granted he's getting double teamed and things like that, so I understand, him making the right basketball plays. Game 5, I wasn't mad at what he did. He wasn't able to get a lot of shots because Golden State was just like, we're not going to let you get a lot of shots.
Okay.
You count on one of the best point guards of all time to get you through that. Like, help us win this game. Will it's a victory if I'm getting double teamed? You're playing 4-on-3 at that point. So, man, Harden's legacy. It takes a ding for right now, but he can't rewrite it. The only thing, I don't see them getting any better from here. That's the only thing. Like,
it's
maybe in a trade. Like, only in a trade I see them getting better in buyout market. Those are your only options at this point.
But the thing is, who are you trading? Because you're not moving Harden, obviously. He's there to stay. Chris Paul that's a bad contract now. He's not
even a year.
He's not worth that contract. In 3 years, he's set to make like $40 million. I don't even know if he's going to be playing in 3 years. So it's like, who's going to want to take that on? All the rest of your pieces. If you move Eric Gordon, but I'm saying what you're going to get back is probably going to be about the same level type player. So it's not like you're really upgrading. You more replacing.
As we saw throughout the season, they're trying to get Jimmy Butler. I thought that was the perfect move for us because I think we need a wing player that can get his own shot and that will bring great defense to the team. We need a great wing defender.
You need it, KD.
Come to Houston, KD.
You needed LeBron. Y'all was trying to get LeBron.
If we get like a Paul George, even
he ain't getting
just somebody that's a decent wing player. I think we take the next step.
But y'all can't afford him. I was about to say Tobias Harris, but y'all can't afford him.
Nah, we can't get him. Maybe if Boogie takes a pay cut next year, go after him. I don't get when he signed with the Warriors. I don't get why we didn't try and get him. If he's only taking $5 million, sign Boogie.
Probably didn't want to take like a lot of teams didn't want to take the risk with that Achilles, and as we can see, he's hurt again, and he's out. So I mean,
they need to do something because the only person that really did anything impressive throughout the playoffs is James Harden. Like, and I'm not even gonna say that was impressive. It's just James Harden being James Harden. He played good, but not great. Like that's what it was.
Now, I don't want to bash Harden too much because at the end of the day, what I think a lot of what people like to call casual fans on Twitter, a lot of people don't realize when the playoffs start, all that 50-point triple-doubles, all that stuff you see during the regular season, it's highly unlikely you're going to see that in the play. It's a different game. The physicality is different. Yeah. It's played different. That team is game planning for you every night. That's all they're living, eat, breathing, and sleeping. That's it. Is how am I going to stop this? So shooting percentages are going to go down. You're not going to see as many 50-point triple-doubles, as many shimmy, and you're not going to see a lot of that. So let's keep that in perspective. Yeah. The playoffs are harder.
Yeah, players are playing harder. They got a lot more energy. They're not letting you get an open shot. They're running after everything. In the regular season, you can't do that every game. You got 82 games. You got to pace yourself. You're not trying to get hurt, things like that. But on the playoffs, you lay it all on the line. We go home any given second. Like every game matters. Every moment matters, and every game is 1 or 2 possessions. So if there's any advantage that you can get, you're gonna take it in the playoffs.
But with that being said, what I also noticed with Harden is, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, is he seemed tired. He seemed really fatigued. Like it was times where he would just be, like you said, walking up the court. Yeah. And I'm like, it's like there's no sense of urgency or nothing. Like, you do realize if you lose, you're out. Like you're going home again to the same team. It's a physical fatigue
and a mental fatigue. Because it's a mental fatigue from the part that I hate to say he doesn't have enough help because in a way he does. Although I think throughout this series he was playing.
Yeah, I don't want to give him that. I'm
not giving him an excuse, but he needs another star. I will say that he needs somebody else that can take that load off him. We thought Chris Paul was the answer for that, and he was for a year. But looking back on that trade, give me Pat Bev, give me Montrezl Harrell, give me Lou Will, and hey, we may be talking about something different, but I can't give him that excuse. He has to get in better shape, like you said. He has to be able to make it through a whole entire game and give the same effort that he gave in the second quarter in the fourth quarter.
And don't get it twisted. I know James Harden works hard. There was like a video of him working out right after a game early in the season. So I know he does that. But if you're going to be this fatigued when the playoffs come where you're ultimately just not looking the same altogether, then maybe like I said earlier, we need to see less ISO in all season long.
So at least during the regular season, like if you can do it in the playoffs, that's great. But don't do it all season. It's just hard to keep up. Like do what Kawhi is doing. Rest some games. I know he's a hooper. I know he hates to sit down, but hey, man, I know he wants to go down as an all-time great, and he thinks just playing the game in the regular season and then just letting whatever happens in the playoffs is going to do that. And he will go down as an all-time great, but I don't want to have these conversations of him being a Charles Barkley, never win the ring, Reggie Miller, and other great players.
That's like where his trajectory is right now. He's going to be in that Reggie Miller, Allen Iverson.
You may crack top 25, but you could have been top 10. Maybe
there was a list on Cowherd today, and he was showing all the MVPs who have never won a championship. So on one side, he had all the ones that did. So it was LeBron, KD, Steph. Over there, all the MVPs who had never won a championship. It was Harden, Westbrook, Charles Barkley, Allen Iverson, Reggie Miller.
You don't want to be on that side.
So not Reggie Miller. I don't think Reggie Miller was up there. But yeah, so you see where he's already starting to fall into that. So I know we got on Westbrook a lot. That he hasn't even been out the first round. But now it's time to really look at Harden and say, hey, okay, this team's beat you how many times?
It's 4 out of the last 5 years.
4 out of the last 5 years. You haven't figured it out yet. KD is gone. Their insurance policy was gone. It was just you and them. And you couldn't get it done.
And that's the only thing you can really hang your hat on going into next year is that KD will be gone and maybe that will even the playing field. But judging by the way the end of game 5, that last 5 quarters of basketball went. Game 6. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get over the hump at all. Like, it's just the Warriors got their number. That's what it looks like. Although I believe if they did have a full series without KD, I think the Rockets would have won. But we all thought they'd win game 6 and 7 as well. But that didn't happen. So it's the one thing you hang your hat on. You can't even say, oh, yeah, that's definitely.
It's tough looking at the Rockets right now. Do you think their championship window is closed? Is it done?
It's really, if KD leaves, it can open back up a little bit. And it depends on where everybody else lands. If it's back to, okay, you need 2 stars to win, maybe 3 stars to win instead of 4 or 5, then it will open back up. But Harden's going to need some help. Like, because if Chris Paul's, he's only going to get, older from here. I hope he, continues to stay a high-producing player. But he's only going to get older. We got free agent pieces leaving. Got Austin Rivers, Fareed leaving. So they got to figure it out. It's a difficult situation, but I think Daryl Morey can figure it out. I think Mike D'Antoni has to go. That's really where I'm at this point. Mike D'Antoni has to go. You need a more defensive coach. You need a coach that's going to get the ball out of Harden's hands, make him move off the ball, because I'm tired of watching and he's standing at half court when somebody else has the ball. Like, you need to be somewhere at least where they can pass it to you.
Moving off the ball, something.
Like, because you can get some easy backdoor cuts and things like that if you're just in the half-court offense. Like, you're not even in the half-court offense. You're already back on defense at that point. So, I need maybe a different coach may change it, but I don't know. Because we were in every game. That's the thing. Every game was a 6-point margin. Nothing more than 6 points is what we lost by. So, you're in it, but you're just not closing it out the way you need to. And I don't know the solution, but something has to change. And the owner was pissed after the game. He said something's going to change. He ain't just going to sit there and let it happen.
Yeah, they're definitely a front office that's not going to just sit back. They're going to definitely do whatever they can to upgrade and try to go back at the Warriors. But speaking of the Warriors, let's look at their side of things. Does Steve Kerr deserve some more credit for the job he's done? I mean, granted, I know it's the Warriors and they're 73-9, but you lose KD. At the end of Game 5, you still pull that off, and then you come on the road and get a big road win against a team that is supposedly geared to beat you. So, do you think that we should be giving him more credit?
Yeah, I think Kerr, he's a coach that I would want to play for. He instills a lot of confidence in his guys. He learned from 2 of the best, Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich. He learned from both of them, and he knows how to keep role role players per se that wouldn't do as great in other systems and had them produce in his system. Looney came out. I believe he dropped 14 points in Game 6. Iguodala hit 5 threes. Quinn Cook, productive. Sean Livingston, double-digit points. Like, he puts all his players in a position to be successful. Granted, he does have the greatest shooting backcourt ever, but the system that he runs, having them run around screens and things like that, it just opens up a lot for everybody. And I believe he does deserve some credit. Granted, if I was coaching that team, I think I would be able to win a championship as well. But he does make subtle adjustments here and there. Like the first finals they were in, putting Iguodala into that starting lineup. They were down 2-1, putting in Iguodala, that changed the whole entire series. So just adjustments that he makes, instilling confidence in his players. And if it was so easy to do, Mark Jackson would have did it. That's kind of... Because a lot of people want to give Mark Jackson a lot of credit for his team, and I give him credit for the defensive side of the ball. But the offense that we've seen the last 4 or 5 years has been completely different. It's been setting the league on fire. So when he came in, he changed everything with that team, and it's showing winning without KD, winning without Boogie. They just keep going. They just keep rolling.
Yeah, I agree mostly with everything you're saying. Steve Kerr has been a great coach for the Warriors, and like you said, as soon as he came in, they took off just like that, and they've ever since then. You know, are we calling them a dynasty? It's definitely a dynasty, right? It has to be.
They got to finish out this year.
Then they need to finish out this year.
I think so.
It's on the brink. It's on the cusp. I mean, no one takes credit away from Phil Jackson for coaching Jordan and Kobe and things of that nature.
You need great players.
So it takes a good coach to still coach great players, you know, because great players think they know everything, you know, so it still
Brad
takes... So I agree with you. I think Steve Kerr deserves a little bit more credit. But, I mean, I think he does get his credit. I hear a lot of people give him his due credit. I think we're not hearing it so much right now. It's a little Warriors fatigue. He's part of that. You know, everybody's hoping the Warriors lose. I don't know too many people outside of Warriors fan who want the Warriors to let's see the Warriors. Like everybody wants them to lose at this point. Is trying to see something different. So I think he falls into that because he's the coach. It's like, oh, we hear this every year. Are we giving him enough credit?
And Kerr's cocky. He's cocky. Like he goes to his press conferences and he knows he got the best team on paper. You know he got one of the best teams all the time. So he come in there, he be talking his trash. So. Yeah,
but so ultimately at the end of the day, I think he deserves more credit, and I think when it's all said and done, he'll get the credit he is due. But let's look at the player side of thing. What did you think about MVP Steph making an appearance again?
Second half, man. It wasn't MVP Steph. Well,
my gosh! I'm sorry, guys. Philly fans, I'm so sorry. Y'all are really, look at the message I just got, tweeted, Adrian Wojnarowski. Brett Brown will return as the Philadelphia 76ers coach next season. Really?
I mean, maybe there's nobody else out there. That's one reason I think a lot of these coaches may be able to keep their job. Because it's like, who else you going to hire?
Mark Jackson. We just got to say his name.
I think there's a reason why Mark Jackson's not getting hired. I believe in him, but whenever you have these coaching discussions, he never gets an interview.
Right.
So it's got to be so either like blackballing him or maybe like discussions within, you know, just higher ups, front offices that Mark Jackson isn't the guy that you want.
Look, Vogel just got a job. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me not get on that. We'll get to that. Yeah. But back to the Warriors. MVP Steph.
All right, so I mean, the way he played that second half, it was great, and it's reminiscent of the old stuff that we saw before KD. But the Rockets just got to be better. I wasn't impressed with the Warriors. I was impressed with Clay that first half, but it was all just mistakes by the Rockets. I saw it, so I wasn't really impressed by what they did. Granted, they played good games. They did what they needed to do to win, and can't underestimate the heart of a champion. I understand all that, but. It was really just the Rockets making mistakes, not really wanting it. They played like they were the team down 3-2. So, like, I chalk it up to the Rockets not being on their P's and Q's, not dotting their I's, things like that. So, they just got to be better.
Yeah, the Rockets definitely had a lot of mistakes. But when I look, the Rockets to me were I think they guard Steph Curry very well, even though it may not have seemed like that towards the end where he went off. But I think they guard him well when they are clicking on all cylinders. MVP Steph, look, this could be a problem. KD's supposed to miss the next 2 games, maybe. Let's not forget, first unanimous MVP ever, how that Steph Curry was rocking. I know y'all remember that game at OKC during the regular season. This man pulled up from about half court for the game winner. MVP Steph is what the playoffs need. I'm going to be honest. I used to like watching that Warriors team. The year before KD, they had Harrison Barnes, David West, Leandro Barbosa, Steph, Clay. I like that team. That was a very fun team to watch just because of the amount of threes they get up, the way they move the ball. That was a crazy time, and I'm eager to see that maybe possibly come back for a couple of games. I think, look, Blazers might want to be careful. They could be down 2-0 before you even know.
Yeah. I say, if the Warriors get back to playing the way they were a couple years ago and Steph is going off like that, it's going to be tough to stop him. And they may keep it up when KD comes back because when he comes back, I imagine he'll be on minutes restriction. So they may just have him play the role of, be Harrison Barnes in the system that we were running a couple years ago.
Right.
So he may not even – it may be back to the old Warriors and they're running that offense again.
But let's move on from that series and let's talk about another Eastern Conference series that ended surprisingly rather quick. The Milwaukee Bucks closed out the Boston Celtics in 5 games. 5 games?
That's quick. 4 straight.
5 games.
4 straight. Lost game 1, then a little bit.
Not 5. Not 5, though.
That's the Celtics, it's rough on them because we have such high expectations.
Right. And that's where I want to take it first in this conversation. Where do they go from here? Like, should they try what they can to get Anthony Davis? Are you trying to keep Kyrie? Are you letting him walk? Where did the Celtics go from here?
The way Kyrie played at the end of those last 4 games,
struggle.
It makes you want to not re-sign him, but if you don't re-sign him, you're kind of just giving over the team to the young players, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I don't think they're ready to carry a franchise yet. So I definitely bring Kyrie back if he wants to be back. Give him the money he wants. I mean, he's going to get a max wherever he goes, I assume. So the money shouldn't be an issue. It's just having him in your locker room. Do you want that personality there? And I think it's rough. I think his personality, he's a different guy to play with. That's what you hear around the league. He's a different cat. He thinks differently. He's a European player, kind of, even though everybody looks at him as American. He's a European. I believe he's from Australia, if I'm not mistaken. So he thinks differently. He looks at the world differently, and I think he needs more vets around him. He kind of has that LeBron mentality nowadays. So he wants more vets around him. The young guys aren't, they're not ready when it comes playoff time to win. Come regular season, they're not focused on just team things. They're trying to focus on getting contracts. They're trying to get their money up, trying to see if they can be the superstar on the team. So vet players, they know their role. They play it great, and they're focused on winning. And that's what they may need. So I think that's what the Celtics need to go after. They need to go after vet players that are focused on winning. Bring back Kyrie. Trade for Anthony Davis if you can. I know Danny Ainge has been pressed on getting Anthony Davis. If you can, go out and get him.
Yeah, when I look at the Celtics, where I think they should go from here, I do think they should bring back Kyrie. Yes, he played bad those last 2 games, but we know what Kyrie's about. I'm not going to judge him off one bad series. I'm not going to make that who he is now, because I know that's not. We've seen him be a lot better than that in plenty of series before. So I think they should bring him back. As far as the chemistry issues, I think Rozier's gone no matter what. So that's one less head out.
Bring back IT.
I mean, I don't.
Give me a liability. They ain't bringing him back.
I don't know how I feel about that, but I think you can do things to try to mend this. But one thing they're going to think about is what they're going to do with Gordon Hayward. I think they should try to move off that contract. Unfortunately, I mean, unless you're really confident, but he's not worth the money he's being paid right now. I just don't think he's worth it. I think you need to move that contract, either bring in some young guys or bring in someone who's going to be a little bit more productive. And that's nothing against Gordon Hayward. It just is what it is. Yeah. Anthony Davis, if you want to look at that route, and combining him with Kyrie, I think that's a very good team. That's definitely good, especially when you got the Sixers having Embiid and things of that nature. So I think that's a good route, especially if you're going to keep Kyrie. But I think their number one priority should be keeping Kyrie Irving. I think they'd be fools to let him walk.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless, I mean, obviously, if he doesn't want to come back, that's one thing. But the Celtics should try whatever they can to keep him. If he walks, okay. You still got your core. They're going to get another year better. They have another year of experience. Mm-hmm. They'll learn from this. They'll move forward. Yeah. You fill in those holes. And also, with Kyrie walking out, you're going to have a lot of cap space right there. So you could fill that with whatever you need to. And, maybe this team will be better without Kyrie because there'll be more ball movement and defensive oriented like they were before when he was out last year.
Mm-hmm. What about Milwaukee? What you think about Milwaukee? How they came in, won 4 straight?
Man, Milwaukee's impressed me.
Yeah.
Milwaukee is I didn't think this series would go 5. I didn't think Milwaukee would win this series. I picked the Celtics in 6 or 7, I think. I think it was 7. I think I picked the Celtics in 7. Mm-hmm. But Milwaukee has definitely impressed me. I mean, Giannis, I still think can be game plan for, and we saw that in a couple of games. But, man, he's a
little possessed right now. He
was bullying them, man. It's
I think he got that text from his brother after game 1 saying that he needed like more effort and more energy. He strapped in. He did what he needed to do after that. He wasn't getting locked up after all that. So
and then we got the random resurgence of George Hill. Like
him and Pat Connaughton. Shout out
Pat Connaughton. Yeah, like their role players were played excellent. And they're a deep team, and I think they are actually a threat to win a championship this year because I think the way their team is constructed and how unstoppable Giannis is, they play the Warriors they play them okay. They play them pretty well. They have the length, they have scores, they have 3-point shooters. Like we already said about their stats about offense and defense, they're one of those top teams. So I think they have a legit shot of not only making the finals, but maybe winning it.
Yeah, they've been blowing out teams all year. From front to finish, they have been the best team in the league, and that's crazy to say with the Warriors being out there. So I'm definitely confident in the Bucks. I think they are for real. I think they're a serious contender, and see how they do against the Raptors. We'll get into that in a little bit, but. Going over to Portland-Denver series. Mm-hmm. That one went 7 games as well. Game 7 was pretty good. Did you watch the end of Game 7 at all?
Did you ever catch it?
Okay, you were able to catch it. So
start to finish.
CJ McCollum, man. People be sleeping on CJ, but he has one of the nicest games in the league.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best scorers in the league, period. Like, put the ball, give him the ball. Just get out of the way. Move. Excuse me. Watch out. Give me a little screen. He can hit you in the mid-range, get to the rack. He's got all types of floaters he can hit. He can shoot from deep.
Another mid-range killer.
Yeah, I like C.J. McCollum. He played really big, especially when your best player's struggling in Lillard. And but C.J. is nice, man. Like, that's why Dame and C.J. feel like they're one of the top backcourts in the league. And I think they've got a pretty convincing argument to be second. I'm trying to think of another backcourt better than them.
Maybe the Rockets, but nah. Not after that series.
Not
after that series. I'll give it to Portland.
Yeah, they're a little bit more balanced there, but that's what you got. You got 2 guys in Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum who can just get buckets at any point. Mm-hmm. Can instantly go off for 30 or 35 at any point, any night. So, and that's what you need in the playoffs because when things get tight, like we were talking about Toronto earlier, people don't want to shoot and they get scared and stuff. You need somebody who's going to say, okay, get out the way, let me go get a bucket. And that's what they have in C.J. McCollum.
Right. He dropped 37 points. He only got to the free throw line, I believe, twice, and he only shot 3 threes. So that tells you where his game is predicated. Everything, getting in that mid-range, getting to the basket. And he was dropping buckets, man. He's closing it out. Dame didn't have his best game, but it's something to be said when you're able to not have your best game. He still hit a clutch 3 here and there. He still showed great leadership. And he was able to defer. He let CJ be great. Like, you got to let other people be great sometimes when you don't have it. So I'm definitely, happy for them. I didn't know CJ had that chase down blocking him. When it was happening, I saw Seth had caught up to, who was it? I believe Jamal Murray on the break. Yeah, caught up, similar to the game.
Said he channeled his inner LeBron.
Yeah, the Ohio kids. So when he got out there for that block, I was like, whoa, CJ can get out like that?
1-2, give me that.
Like,
That's it. It's just give me that.
He's not a player that dunks like that or anything. So that really caught me off guard when he did that.
But that just shows you how much they wanted. That's how much the drive was there. They wanted to win that game. I definitely like their team's mindset this whole entire playoffs. Like even last series when Damian Lillard was like, well, yeah, they were happy about a game. We're here to win 4. Mm-hmm. That's just they're so laser focused, especially after being eliminated early last year by the Pelicans. So they're so focused right now. It's a good space to be in.
Yeah, Zach Collins playing great. Cancer out there, one arm still.
Cancer, the one arm bandit out there getting work, getting boards. He don't even jump. Like
somehow he gets a double off.
Positioning, man. He just positioning, boxing out.
When it comes to points, he'll do that. The defense, he's trying on defense, so I'm happy about that. At least he's trying.
I'm impressed by that.
Still struggles and things like that, but all you need is effort when it comes to defense, and you can play on the court.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
But looking at the other side of this series, the Denver Nuggets, they go out in the second round. But I'm going to tell you, I'm kind of impressed by them. I thought they would be out in the first round. I thought they were going to lose to the Spurs. They took Portland to 7. What do you think about their outlook? It's definitely bright, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, definitely, because they're super young team. The only player I'm worried about getting older is Paul Millsap, but you can replace him. Yeah, you can find something to replace him. Maybe Trey Lyles. That's what I was about to get to.
Michael Porter Jr.
He just right in there. They just came out with a report. He'll be playing in the summer league. Apparently, Hotback's not feeling anything coming into the summer, so maybe he'll be able to do something come then, and maybe he'll be the starter they need. They do need somebody to go along with Jamal Murray, somebody else that will go out there and look for their own shot. Somebody that maybe will help them be a little bit more consistent. Because Jokic, even in Game 7, he played a very good game, but he wasn't able to do what makes him so great. He wasn't able to get those assists off and get other people involved. So having somebody like Michael Porter, who I believe is going to be a very good player, maybe able to be an all-star a couple times, and just go from there. If he can play on a team with Jamal Murray, Jokic, Gary Harris, the sky's the limit for them. They may be one of those next-up teams in the West.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of young pieces, like you mentioned, Harris, the Craigs of the world, Will Barton, Jamal Murray, and then they have their superstar Jokic. So I think their outlook is very bright. They play defense. They can shoot threes. They're very good at home. Even though I'm not the biggest Jamal Murray fan, he'll get better over time. He'll become more consistent. But that was my one caveat. We were talking about last week. He's inconsistent, and that showed up in Game 7. But I do like Denver's outlook. I'm a little jealous of it because my Lakers are in such a flux right now. But I do like their outlook going forward. I think Jokic really, if you weren't paying attention, he really opened a lot of people's eyes, even though I did say at one point people were starting to overrate him on Twitter just a tad, and I think that showed a little bit. But he's definitely still a star in this league. Yeah. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with. They were literally just giving him the ball, running it. I'll bring it up court. I'll pass. Go. I got it.
Yeah, so he's playing like one of the guards, had a huge high usage rate and just making everybody else better and still dropping 30 pretty consistently. So I was impressed with Jokic.
Yeah, so adding a piece like Michael Porter, if he can get anywhere to what we think he can be, because remember, this guy was supposed to be like the number 1 pick. Yeah, like last year. They was comparing him to like Kevin Durant. We're going to see where his back is and what he brings to the Summer League. I'm excited for that. But I think Denver definitely has a bright future. I mean, this was a great season for them. Yeah. Second seed. Yeah. They were first for a while. Made it to the second round. Took it to 7 games. Great job by them.
Yeah, so it's a successful season for them. They're just keep building on this. Become a better road team. Take care of business at home in the playoffs. Having this experience is going to mean a lot for them going forward.
Yeah, but let's move on out of that round and let's move on to the Lakers.
Laker Nation.
We hired a coach, guys. we hired a coach. His name is Frank Vogel. If you're unfamiliar with Frank Vogel, his last job was with the Orlando Magic, where I believe for 2 of those years they averaged about 26, 27 wins. And his job before that was with the Indiana Pacers, where they did okay. I don't know if you guys remember those teams with Paul George and Roy Hibbert, Danny Granger. Those teams that went up against the Miami Heat, LeBron, they went to, I believe, a game 7 with them, and they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals a couple years. So Frank Vogel is the new coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah. I never thought that's where I would be right now. Mm-hmm. That's what I would be saying on this podcast this week, but it's happened. And the Lakers also hired Jason Kidd to be on his staff, which is kind of weird.
They're setting him up. I mean, I think everybody knows what's up with that. Is okay, Frank Vogel, you're gonna be the coach now.
Hey, look, Vogel.
In a few years,
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. If you ain't getting to no Western Conference Finals or something like that,
they're not gonna hesitate to get you.
Come
on up, Jason.
Hey, that man behind you, look, just know. Yeah. He already know. Yeah. He just playing his role right now. He gonna develop, get with Lonzo. He gonna do his job. But hey,
he gonna help out Lonzo a lot. Jason Kidd and Lonzo, that's gonna be really good.
I do like that. I do like bringing Jason Kidd in to work with Lonzo because even though people have their concerns about Jason Kidd, I do know he can do that. He can teach the point guard position.
And maybe he can give him some secrets because Jason Kidd was never a great shooter at first, and then he became a very good shooter.
So maybe one of the best 3-point shooters we've had in a while.
Top 10 or something in threes made. So
something like that. Yeah.
He really got up there from a guy that they called him Ace and Kidd coming into the league with no J. So maybe he'll be able to help all the young players, help them out with their 3-point shooting at least.
Yeah, that would definitely help. That's what he's here for player development. A lot of people give him a lot of credit for what he did, the work he did with Giannis, putting the ball in his hands, making him a point guard. But as far as going back to the head coach, Vogel, my initial thoughts about it was just confusion and I wasn't mad. I actually wasn't mad when I heard it. I was just kind of like, why? Okay.
Why? That's what I thought.
I was just like, okay. I mean, so from what I've been hearing on the shows today is LeBron supposedly respects Vogel because he remembers those series with Indiana. So that's good for me. Yeah. As long if he's respecting him, then that's fine for me. That works. Obviously he's been to the playoffs, so he's not a coach who's never been there. Nor
2 conference finals.
Yeah, 2 conference finals. So he's been in the heat of the battle. So that's actually good. That's good for us. He took the money the Lakers wanted him to have. Obviously, it was a lesser contract, so that's a win for the Lakers again. You're paying him what you wanted to pay him. Yeah. I don't have a lot of expectations. I need to see how this happens because I don't know what to expect. And with the hire of Jay Kidd right behind him, like you said, is this a setup? I know he's gonna be looking over his shoulder, but he had to agree to these terms, so he must know that he must be ready for the challenge. So I'm being pretty optimistic about it. I'm eager to see what he could do with us this year.
Yeah, the whole hiring both the coaches with the Lakers is they wanted to control it kind of. They knew that they wanted Jason Kidd for the future, so that's why Ty Lue didn't want to do that. So I understand the whole thing, and it's better for Frank Vogel to be employed rather than unemployed. So take the job, see if you can do something with LeBron in the next 2 years. If not, then you're looking at getting up out of there. But maybe you can do something these next 2 years. Maybe they get somebody in free agency, and maybe you can compete for a championship.
Yeah. So, man, my Lakers.
Yeah, the Lakers.
It's just
had the whole.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm just glad the coach is in place now. Okay, we got the coach. Good, because they was trying to do everything else but get the coach first. I get it. You didn't really want Ty Lue. You just had to entertain him for LeBron. I got it. I wasn't that huge on Ty Lue. I wanted Monty Williams, like I told you, but he chose the Suns. I just hope we pull this together because this is a huge summer for us. This is a huge summer for us, and it could go one of two ways. It could go very good, or it could go very bad. It could land somewhere in between.
It won't be as bad as last year. Well, other than getting LeBron.
I mean, we got other than
that, all the role players and things like that.
Yeah, that's where I think we really need to fix it. So hopefully, I think the draft workouts start next week. So Vogel and Kidd are hired now. They can start looking at people so we can start just getting better. Ultimately, that's what it's going to come down to. We just need to get better as a team. So,
quick question. If you was in LA, would you have went to the protest?
No. No, you wouldn't have caught me there. No, not at all.
You wouldn't have been. Yeah, that joke was whack.
Yeah, I saw what it was. It was like 4 guys. Nah, I'm good. Clipper Darrell showed up.
Oh yeah,
Clipper Darrell showed up.
That's it. One guy's explanation. Did you see it? He was like, fire everybody and get the good players back. I was like, okay.
One dude said, "Here's the order of the process: assign LiAngelo Ball, hire LeVar Ball." And sign LaMelo Ball. B, back to the chip. I was like, all right. Let me cut this off.
They was trolling.
But let's move on off my Lakers and let's get into the conference finals round. We're down to the last 4 teams. The best 4 teams are left. We got the Raptors and the Bucks in the East and the Warriors and the Blazers in the West. So let's start in the West with our Warriors-Blazers preview. What are your predictions for this for this playoff series? Who do you see winning? How long you think it's going to go?
I got Warriors in 6. Judging, I think if I'm the Warriors, I keep KD out till game 4 or 5. Let him get as much rest as possible. We're going to need him for the finals. For the most part, I think they can handle Portland. They may have some tough games here and there. They may even lose a game at home. Like, Portland is a tough team, so you don't want to sleep on them too much, but if I can get KD to sit as much as possible, as long as we're not down 2-1 or anything like that, I'm trying to sit him, trying to get him as much rest, and try and close it out in 6 games. If KD comes back, got Warriors in 5. It's going to be pretty quick. Ain't got any answer for that. So that's my predictions for it. I think CJ and Dame, they come in for that. They want to see if they're the best backcourt because I know they believe they're better than Steph and Clay. Now they want to go out there and prove it. When one hasn't been in the A game, the other's picked up the slack. So both of them are going to have to be on in this series, I'm assuming. I wonder if Aminu can hang with Draymond and the whole center matchup. I would give the edge to Portland in that center matchup. Having Cantor, having Myers Leonard, Zach Collins versus whether it be Looney or Bogut, I think they will be better than them. Even though Looney's really impressed me, but I think they will have the advantage there. So it's just really, can the backcourt hold their own and kind of outplay the Splash Brothers for a little bit, and maybe we can have a long series.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to take the Warriors in 6, no matter whether Kevin Durant's healthy or not. I'm going to take the Warriors in 6. I think it's a 6-game series. I think Dame and CJ make it tough. I think they're going to go at Steph every chance they get, every single time, and that's what they should do. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the Warriors are the Warriors. Until I see them get beat, I can kind of gauge the competition and how far the series might go. But I don't ultimately see nobody beating them right now. And Steph, man, MVP Steph might be here, and that's not good for them. Now, Dame is Dame. Don't get me wrong. He's impressed me this playoff this year, and he's been lights out. He struggled last series a little bit. He definitely can't do that in this series when you got Steph Curry and Klay Thompson on the side. So I'm still going to take the Warriors in 6. I think Portland makes it tough. I think Enes Kanter is going to be big this series because, they have Looney and they have Green, but he can
still score.
He can go to work on those guys, especially on the boards. What's going to be key is Rodney Hood's injury.
Yeah.
Is he healthy? He didn't look good. Is he going to be back? He's key for them because he's another guy you can put the ball in his hands and he can go get a bucket for you. So,
hey, Coach Scott, throw the other Curry on Curry. Put them on each other.
Oh.
Brother on brother. You're going to have to man up today. I know he's an older brother.
Steph Curry's going to have to be good, too. They're going to need his shooting.
He's going to have to guard him. I feel like I'm putting Curry on Curry. You know how to stop him if anybody out here. So you're going to have to go out there and do that. And I think what the Warriors may do, they may try and hide Steph on Mo Harkless or something like that on defense.
Oh, he's posting him. They're going to
try and work him. But if I'm the Warriors, if Mo Harkless can beat me, you got it.
Honestly, Portland, to guard up with them, I kind of like their rock. They have Aminu.
Yeah,
they have Harkless. They got some defensive-minded guys. They can really go at Steph, especially with no insurance policy in KD now. Yeah. You keep going at him that's what the Rockets were doing. You keep going at him in the defensive end, it really starts to affect the offensive. It's just going to be can Portland lock in consistently on defense and get stops when they need to get stops. That's going to be so key in whether they're going to have an actual chance in this series. But Yeah, I think it's going to be over in 6, man. I'm taking the Warriors.
Yeah, I think we all got the Warriors in this one.
Let's move on to the more interesting series. No offense. In the East, 2 teams. Would you have imagined that we'd be saying the Toronto Raptors are playing the Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals?
It's crazy. Like, 2 of the franchises we least expect are here. 2 of the least.
Well, I mean, I did predict the Raptors would make the finals this year. I'll make sure I always mention that. But they still got to win this series right now. So, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
I'll go first on this one. Here's my Raptors-Bucks preview. So, since, like I just said, I have the Raptors going to the finals, I'm going to take the Raptors in another 7-game series with the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm very impressed with everything I've seen from the Milwaukee Bucks. I have no slander for them today. The way they got rid of the Celtics was very impressive to me. I didn't see that coming. I like I told you before, with the Bucks, with me was I just need to see it. I need to see y'all win some meaningful series. Detroit series wasn't enough. I needed to see a meaningful series, and I think they showed me that. But at the end of the day, I think the best player is on the Raptors side, Mr. Kawhi. What'd you call him?
Kobe Jordan.
Kawhi, Kobe Jordan. I think he is the X factor. It's honestly, these teams match up very well. They're both deep teams. They have scoring off the bench. It's going to be about whose role players show up more. I think Kawhi and Giannis's production will probably cancel each other out. It's going to be about everybody else. Kyle Lowry versus Eric Bledsoe. Chris Middleton versus Danny Green. Can Danny Green stop him? Siakam versus who starts?
Ilyasova, I think.
Ilyasova or Mirotic, however they put it up. Brook Lopez, Marc Gasol, two guys who can stretch the floor. So it's going to be really about those role players. Whose role players are going to come and play every night? Now, the Raptors haven't left a good taste in my mouth from last series. Pause. They didn't. They didn't show up every night. Some nights they were there, some nights they weren't. But I'm going to stick with my pick because of my prediction. I'm going to stick with the Raptors in 7, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks won.
I'm going to go with the Bucks in 6 now. I'm going to go with the Bucks. I got Milwaukee. I think they are the better team in the series. If I'm looking at what they have, I believe they have the second best player in the East. I will say that. I believe the Raptors have the best player. Kawhi is the best player in Raptors history, by the way, already. Off that shot, just so y'all know. But the Bucks have a better team. They have a lot of shooters. They play great defense. We already went over it. Top 5 in both offensive and defensive efficiency.
Right.
So everything that the Bucks have, I think the only way that the Raptors can win is if Kawhi just
goes Kobe.
Like, just goes Kobe, Jordan.
He's on the all-Kobe team. Not Jamal Murray. Who else did you say?
The Morris.
Not Morris. Kawhi Leonard.
There's a couple of them.
He's on the all. They might be on the all-Kobe third team. He's on the all-Kobe, like, first team.
What you call it? The only way I see it is if Kawhi mans up with Giannis, because how would you guard Giannis in the series?
See, that's what's tough.
Siakam, Ibaka. What'd you do? Gasol?
Ibaka's going to be key. He might see a lot of minutes on him.
I think it's going to be different.
He's got a little. He doesn't have enough size, but he has enough. He has enough defensive skills still there. He's been there. He's guarded people like that. He might be key. I think we're going to see a lot of different people. We're going to see Gasol at times. We're going to see Kawhi at times. But like I was telling you earlier, if it's me, I'm just saying, hey, Kawhi, I need you on that all night. That's you.
He looking like he may be the MVP.
He don't go nowhere without you. If he go to the bathroom, you going with him. That's it. If he goes to get a hot dog, nacho, none of that. You're with him wherever he goes. That's how I would do it. But I think they're going to send multiple people at him, which isn't a bad idea.
I feel like they'll start off with Siakam. That's my take on. I think they'll start off with Siakam. Maybe try Gasol and Ibaka. If that don't work, all right, Kawhi, you got him the rest of the series. But I agree with you. If I was the coach, I would say Kawhi from game 1, opening tip, you got him this whole series, man. Hey, tighten up, and I hope he'll probably guard Kawhi on the other end as well. So it'd be a great matchup to see. I'm excited for this round. This is the best matchup so far, I think, in the playoffs. because the Rockets disappointed, but Raptors. This is gonna be a great series to me. I think Ibaka, he could be very huge in the series. I think the Celtics is hard to judge for me because I believe they were the worst team in that second round left. I believe they're the worst team out of all the teams that were left. So, granted, they did get over and they made it pretty quick, and that's impressive. But now they're starting to play the cream of the crop. Now is where you really, really about to judge the Bucks. So, I think they will come out and handle business, but it's not going to be easy for them. And I believe they're shooting. The bench players, it's all going to come in. They're all going to be clicking on all cylinders, I believe. Giannis, he'll do what he does out there. Only hope it's Kawhi. And I don't think they have enough. Nick Nurse, I don't trust him enough coming off the last series. Budenholzer, I trust a lot. He's one of the Spurs old coaches. Did a lot for the Hawks, but now he has a lot of talent. He has a true superstar in this league. Like, nobody's questioning Giannis. He's going to go out there and do what he does.
I don't know why, but I just see Marc Gasol getting dunked on in this series at some point by Giannis. Like, I'm talking, he's trying to guard him and keep up with him as he goes through the hole. And Giannis is going to outstretch his arm. And I just see it. Marc Gasol, look. Nothing against Marc Gasol. I like Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol is just the type. He just looks like the type to get dunked on a lot. You know what I mean? Like, big man, not overly athletic, can block some shots. But if you catch him, you're going to catch him. And I just feel like that's what's going. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry. I just see it. I don't know why, but I see it happening. Look out. Look out. I don't want it to happen to you personally. Look out.
You ready for the poster. You ready.
But, yeah, like I was saying, though, yeah, you made very good points about the Bucks, man. They're a deep team. They hit threes. They play defense. They're star players. The fact that we're sitting here having to wonder who we're going to put on him, that's a problem. Yeah. That's a problem. But the reason I'm kind of giving my edge to Toronto is in the clutch, let's say the games are close, Giannis not being able to shoot, I think, can hurt him. Mm-hmm. And Kawhi being as all-team Kobe as he is in the mid-range from anywhere, obviously we've seen the game-winning shot, I give him that slight edge. But like I said, this series could go either way. These teams are both deep, evenly matched.
I believe what tips the series to me is coaching.
Yeah, and that's what I paused on. Like, the coaching, probably I give it to Milwaukee because Budenholzer's been there, done that already. Mm-hmm. But
I said, Nick Nurse first year. If he goes to the finals, that would
be quite an accaccomplishment.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But that's why I picked the Bucks, because I believe Budenholzer will out-coach Coach Nurse. And that will be the difference in it. The adjustments, getting your role players in situations that they can be successful, and that's going to be it. Malcolm Brogdon coming back is huge for them. He even showed up even the few minutes they played against the Celtics. So that's going to be the difference to me.
Yep, but that's all we got for this episode of Here's the Deal with Michael and David. As usual, I want to thank everybody for listening on whatever platform you're listening to. David, you got anything to say to the people?
All right, let's get it. Let's wrap up this rest of this playoffs. Also, shout out Doug Baldwin. He retired. It's the end of an era.
Shout out Seahawks. Doug Baldwin retiring.
They released Cam Chancellor as well, so it's the end of that area.
Oh, Packers need to get that. I need that.
Nah, he about to retire. But all they got is Bobby Wagner. Russell Wilson left, so end of that era. It was a great one.
Moneybags Wilson. Hey, he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, he happy.
He got his money. I'm gonna go play a little football. All right, whatever.
Yeah, that's it. All right, here's the deal.
Thank you for listening to Here's the Deal podcast. Tune in for next week's episode. And don't forget to add the Here's the Deal podcast Facebook and Twitter pages.